What's up, you guys? Dark Cloud Yugioh here. Thank you for checking out this video, and thank you for checking out my channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing a Synchron deck profile. The new 5Ds Legendary decks released last week, bringing a bunch of new Synchron stuff. And I really started to play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! When Synchrons first came out. So it's a lot of nostalgia factors in this deck for me. I did take it to locals. It did about as well as you would expect for a Synchron deck, playing with K9 and a bunch of other really overpowered decks. So this deck is a lot of fun to play. It still needs some work. I'm not playing the Stardust engine right now, or the Stardust variant. I'm just playing like I guess a pure version where you synchro into a lot of big boss monsters. But I'll explain my choices as I go on. So we got 2 Junk Synchron, 2 Full Speed Warrior. I see some people playing 3, but I like 2. On normal or special summon, he adds a spell or trap that mentions Junk Warrior, which you search your 1 spell, so I didn't want to play 3. Just because at first test version of this, I was playing 3 of this, and the card you search off of is this. I was playing 3/3, and I kept seeing way too many tuners, so that was the first problem I had with this deck, is you get stuck with a lot of tuners. Also, I'm sorry if you hear me keep trying to clear my throat. It's very dry outside, so my lungs are just having a wonderful time. So next, the Synchrons. So 2 Assault Synchron, Scrap Synchron, 2 Stardust Synchrons, Wheel Synchron, and Revolution Synchron. These are all the Synchrons that you play. Originally I was playing 3, but I kept opening more than 1 where it didn't help. There's a few times where I felt like I should play more than 1 Scrap, but I feel like all in all, this ratio is pretty well. It's done me very well. There are times where you like brick, like as you can see, you play a lot of weird 1-ofs in this deck. And speaking of weird 1-ofs, we got Crossroads Sonic Trick and Angerbolt Hedgehog. I'm not going to lie, in all my testing I have never used Sonic Chick, but she pretty much brings herself back. Quibble Quick Effect says when you control a card that mentions Junk Warrior, you can special summon him, but he banishes when he leaves the field, and you're locked into Synchros. He's a quick effect, so you can chain block. Unfortunately, that didn't come up enough. Words are a problem. He did not come up enough, so these were just used to help me extend. And then Stardust cards, we're playing 1 Stardust Trail and 1 Stardust Illumination. So these work really well with your Stardust Synchrons, because pretty much when this is summoned, you search Illumination and activate Illumination and then send a Trail. And then often you're going to be going into later games, so I use Excel Synchron, send this to the graveyard. And then there's going to be times where you're going to tribute one of your useless Synchrons, bring this out, and then her effect, she comes out. And with this, it's a level 8. I cannot tell you how many times I did that. I didn't think the theory would work, but as I played it at locals, it worked pretty decent. Spell cards, 3 tunings, Reinforcement of the Army, and 2 Synchron Fellowships. So Synchron Fellowship is a new card. It says when it's activated, you can add a Junk Synchron and a monster that mentions Junk Warrior or Stardust Dragon, which usually your targets that you're going to add off are usually I added Hedgehog. Scrap is the main one, and there's a few times where I've opened just Fellowship, so I've searched off these 2 so I could go into combos with Junk Speeder. But it's got a second ability where you can banish it from the graveyard and additional normal summon a Synchron tuner. So usually the additional normal summon is for use for the Junk Synchron. So it bothers me that this new tuning art is a common, but all in all, I'm very happy with the basic lineups of everything so far. Now the fun tech card, not sure if I liked it, but 3 Mathematician. So the idea of Mathematician is you need a starter to do stuff, so there's a lot of times you normal summon him. You have so many targets you can dump. You can dump your Stardust Synchron. You can dump your Revolution Synchron. There's a couple more random tech choices we play. But Mathematician has done pretty good. Not sure if I'm going to keep him, but I liked him in this version. And then some of the tech cards we were playing that you can dump off of him were Glow Up and Glow Up and Spore. There's another reason why we play both Glow Up and Spore. I was only going to play 1 at first, but I decided to play both for a certain reason. But mostly with Mathematician, there's a lot of times I dumped Glow Bulb and then milled with Glow Bulb and just made a Herald with these. So that was already pretty good. Now, The non-synchron stuff, I guess you just your staples. 3 Fulas, 3 Ash, 3 Droll, and Perm, 3 Droplet, Crossout, and Callby. So you cannot play a lot of hand traps on this because you need to play a lot of combo pieces, so it's kind of picky and choosy what to play. If I were to make any technical choices and changes of me playing this, I would only play maybe 2 Droll and maybe another extender, just because there's a lot of times I had a lot of dead tuners on the field, and I wish I could have done more with it. But all in all the choices of all this, I felt like was a great choice. So the main deck's 41 cards. I will show a combo on a big field I end with in a second. So let me just switch to the extra. So the extra deck. Yeah, Scrap Warrior requires Scrap Synchron, and then on summon you take a Junk Warrior or Junk Synchron. You add, oh my god, words are not my friend today. On summon, you take a card that mentions Junk Warrior or Junk Synchron, add to your hand or send it to the graveyard. And usually you add Junk Synchron off of it, and then it's got a very nifty effect. When monsters you control that mention Junk Warrior or a Synchron with the name Warrior in their original name cannot have their effects negated. So they cannot negate this and some of your big dudes. This guy seems like he's good to stop the negates, but he's actually not that good. I often ended up synchroning him away. The Star Ham, never made this, but ideally you would just use this to bring back your tuners and go into Herald. Herald, still a good rank 4 or level 4 to play. Excel Synchron, there's times I dumped off of, as I was explaining earlier, I dumped off Stardust Synchron with Excel Synchron, made this a 1, and then I would tribute this. And then because of what I was explaining earlier, I would get the Stardust Trail, and then I would often make a level 8 off of these. Happened a couple times where it came up. Junk Speeder, this card's absolutely nuts. When it's summoned, summon a bunch of tuners, or a bunch of Synchrons with different levels. And all the Synchrons we play are up to level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, a lot of times you make this. This card is absolutely nuts for the deck. Hyper Librarian, there's a few times when testing I made this just to keep synchro climbing, and I did draw. Don't really go into this as much as I'd like to. Rose Hate, or Rage Rose Witch. One of the best cards in this deck. I honestly have bridged so much into this, and this with Spore makes a Snake Eye Dragon. Garden Rose Main, which you dump off of the Synchron. Now your boss monsters. Dawn Dragster, just to negate, I needed a 7. Junk Warrior Extreme, I actually really never made this because there was never options that came up. Trishula, non-target banish. I tried to make Trishula a couple times, but they caught on and quickly got rid of my tuner. Omega, I made Omega quite a bit. Snake Eyes Dragon. Snake Eyes Dragon is definitely one of the big boards I end on. Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel has been amazing in this deck. When you use a Light and Dark, because it happens quite frequently, all your Synchro monsters cannot be destroyed by battle, and Synchro monsters are not activated by, or they are not affected by activated monster effects. So you use Light and Dark, so he protects all your Synchro monsters. And Clear Wing, or Crystal Wing. I never made these. So there's a couple cards I would cut. Out of the extra deck, I would definitely cut this. And I would cut Starham. There's a few times when playing the deck at locals, I wish I could go into a level 6. But this is testing, as I said. Then we got tokens. So now the side. The side deck was really hard to make because you play so many combo pieces. So I played 3 Regaki, 3 Dark Ruler, because of just being able to clear boards. 3 Solemns, because we needed going first cards, and it was just, I didn't want to side a bunch of hand traps. 3 Retaliating Sea for Draco Tail and anything else that special summons with spells. And 2 Lancia and a Lava Golem. So, originally I was playing 3 Lancia, but I wanted to just put in a Lava Golem because I don't know why, I thought it would be funny. So now, let me quickly show you a combo that I was doing at locals most of the day. So, per se, obviously your opponent cannot have any spell or trap, or any hand traps with this interruption. But yeah, so you need a full speed warrior, and then 4 random cards. That's not a Spore, because unfortunately Spore is part of this combo. So, this was a combo I often did. So you would Normal summon full speed. Full speed effect adds a spell or trap, so you're going to add Fellowship. Activate Fellowship. Fellowship's going to add another one, so you can add Yugioh Synchron. Then adds a card that mentions it. So we will add the Hedgehog. Then you have to discard one, so discard the Hedgehog. And then banish for the additional normal summon. Additional normal summon. Grab the Hedgehog, so now we're going to Synchro Summon into Junk Speeder. Junk Speeder brings out 4 tuners. So this is where it's very important where you pay attention which tuners to bring out. By tuners, I obviously mean your Synchron tuners. So, mainly it depends what you got going on, but I would usually try to bring out these, because Yugioh Synchron says he can be treated as a non-tuner for a Synchro Summon. So we have a Junk Speeder up here. Sorry. I didn't realize how much zones and space I'm taking. So we have a Junk Speeder up here. So now we can Synchro Summon the Yugioh Synchron and the Scrap Synchron, because Yugioh Synchron's treated as a non-tuner. And a Hate Rose Witch. Hate Rose Witch effect activates, dumping Garn Rose Witch and dumping the Spore we were talking about. So now with that, we can have our Light and Dark for Chaos Angel. So with that, we can special summon Chaos Angel. And then now it depends, because now you can activate Spore's effect to banish this to make it a 7. And then Synchro Summon it with Junk Speeder to make a Snake Eyes Dragon. And then you still have your Stardust Synchron Engrave you can tribute off. And then bring out Illumination. So you already can keep doing stuff. And then for a follow-up, if they happen to get rid of your Vengeance Dragon, you can use your Garden Rose to bring it back. But yeah, this was a lot of the combo I was doing when playing the deck. That's pretty much the Synchron deck that I posted. I will have another type of video for this. Be patient. I think you guys will really enjoy this. It will really break down the Synchron deck. I do plan on posting a Stardust version of this deck, but I wanted to show you guys what I've been playing with, because it's been a while since I made content, and I really wanted to make something fun. So this is currently what I'm playing, and I'm going to be fixing it again to play the Stardust version, because as fun as this version is, it just, I'll be honest, Chaos Angel was fun, but they have so many modern day Yu-Gi-Oh cards that we're just able to beat this deck. So watch my next video that I'm making with this and you'll see what I mean. But yeah, take it easy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.